Let me know if you can hear me. That's so weird. Yeah, I was going through my car and I don't know why. It might be just a little slow. Can you all hear me now? Okay, cool. Yay. Okay. If I can get up here. I think I had ants on me sitting over here, but I want to get back in the grass. Okay, so let me talk to y'all about depression. For some reason, we have a very hard time as people seeking truth and spirituality. We have a hard time um, admitting to depression. First of all, I didn't want to do the video because I was like, I'm not depressed. But y'all know I'm finna go deep with it. I wouldn't even come on here and do anything if I didn't go deep with it. So I've been meditating about depression. I've been meditating. When I say depression, I'm gonna give you my definition of depression. This is like, oh yeah, hey Dee Dee. Oh, thank you. That's so beautiful. I love when I have people who've been following me for years. So let me tell y'all. Let me tell you what depression is. Each soul that is here right now, we agreed to be here. Right in this moment, you already agreed to be here. There is, because the soul is so powerful, there is a form of counsel. And this counsel, back when we were practicing in religion, we believe this counsel consisted of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, right? And they kind of oversee the souls. Or there is an energy or counsel that oversee the souls. So every single thing that you've experienced, you already agreed to it, to experience that. But because we come as a baby, we don't remember, right? And so even for those of you who are still in that kind of religious place, or maybe with the Bible, I can use the Bible too. The Bible talks about knowing us before we're in the mother's womb, right? And having a path already laid out for us that will light our footsteps, so that our foot doesn't smash a stone. This is letting you know that there's a plan. There's a plan for your soul. There's a plan for your life. The downside of that is because the soul is so powerful, it's like a nuclear device, right? It can be used for good or bad. So we have lower dimensional energies and higher dimensional energies trying to help us, assist us, help us transform and to be better today than we were yesterday. But we have lower frequency entities that are pulling us to not be better because they need to feed. They feed off of the worry. You may not even be depressed. It may just be the worry. You find yourself anxious. You find yourself not sleeping as well. You find yourself waking up and you're still tired. You find yourself, everything is okay, but you're still just not really feeling happy in that moment. And so we're in the middle of a war. But because a lot of us with these beautiful, beautiful souls, we have been placed into a prison called Plan It, right? The planet. There's a plan. And but this plan is not something that a lot of us are no longer wanting to participate in. So as time is changing, as you are growing, your consciousness is growing, your friends are changing. The people you call family, you don't identify with them anymore, but these people you've never met before on YouTube or wherever, you feel like you know them. You feel like you can trust them. You feel like, man, I feel like I can just listen to her or listen to him. I don't know what it is. I don't agree with everything, but I just feel like I can trust them. And that's your soul family. So right now, because we're in the age of Aquarius, we have been set free from the bondage of the age of Pisces that forced us to conform. And we all have to be the same. We have to be clones, and we have to do it this way. And morals say this and say that. Now that we are transforming, we are experiencing what we would call worry, anxiety, fears, doubt, and depression. And it's so normal. But you have to understand that just imagine if you have hungry dogs and you put one bowl of dog food out there, you know it's going to cause chaos. Well, you are the dogs and the food. We're the soul. The higher self represents heaven. The lower self represents hell. All of that exists within the human, within us, right? So you have the ego, who's the lower self, and the ego doesn't like change. The ego wants what it wants when it wants it. The ego doesn't care that what it wants is not good for you. The ego doesn't care about any of that. But the higher self is like, look, pay attention to me. I've been here with you. I'm trying to guide you. I want to help you. Don't eat that. Don't do that. Don't go there. Don't say that. That's not going to be conducive for you. This relationship, you have to let this relationship go. It's not conducive for you. I'm assisting you. I was sent to assist your soul in this transformation. And so the more you resist the transformation, then it will begin to manifest itself as depression, a cycle of depression. And a cycle of depression, when it's caused by spiritual purposes, because it's not to hurt us, it's to help us, right? So we are in this moment, right now, in this time, we're in the middle of a war. And the whole kingdom of God, the whole universe is within each of us right now. This is why in the Bible, he broke down Abraham. He said, you would be like the stars, right? And so that's letting you know that you are the microcosm of the macrocosm. We're just little bits and pieces and fragments of source, of the creator. And we're trying to find our way. We're finally set free for you to ask yourself, who am I? Not what do I do, where do I work, what have I accomplished and achieved? Who am I? Why am I here? And so as you're going through the motions of this transformation, it gets a little frustrating when you can't figure out who you are, because your everyday routine is so routine. The higher self and the soul wants to grow. It wants to change, but it needs the weight. Just like when you work out, you need the weight to build the strength. The core strength gets stronger as the weight. And if we would learn to use the depression, to use the anxiety and the worry as the weight to help us to grow and strengthen the core of who we are, then the depression does not have to be the end result. It is simply the weight that you use to turn you into the person that you know you can be. Now, the complex part of this war is so real. Armageddon is not something that's going to happen outside of us. Armageddon is within us. That is the death of the ego. That is the war, the soul war finally ending. That is the Gog and Magog, the standoff. That all of that is happening within you right now. So one moment you'll hear a voice, and that voice will say, you should start your business. Start your spiritual business. People are ready for it. There are people waiting for you, and they will give donations. They will pay for your help and your time. But then there's another voice that says, you're not ready. You're not ready. You're still going through the physical healing thing. You're not there yet. You're not strong enough. You're not smart enough yet. You're not wise enough yet. No. You go back to church. And so you have like 20 different voices, and in the mix of that, it feels like chaos. And it just makes you, it frustrates you. It frustrates you. So if I wanted to really be able to help you out and give you something, it would be to figure out who you really are. Look in the mirror and ask yourself, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? You ask yourself that until you start to get answers. But be patient. Be patient. Be patient. It's coming. Because if I gave my son a razor and he's too young to use that razor, it's going to hurt him, possibly kill him. But if I gave it to my husband, it's a gift, right, that he can use. So everything has its own timing in which it has to happen. So start trying to eat cleaner. It's not about spending a lot of money on organic food. Just try to eat as clean as possible. Because with the war that's going on, food is being used for the manipulation, just like in history. Just you know history. From sugar, people were bringing slaves into the islands to get the sugar cane, right? And so it's the same way. And if you look at it now, sugar causes candida and fungus in the body and all of these diseases. Well, if you look at those under a microscope, they move, live, and have being and consciousness just as we do, right? So you have to say, I've been looking at this thing as if it's below me and it's not alive because it's so small I can't see it with the naked eye. But in actuality, this thing is what's controlling me and making me go and get these donuts that I know I shouldn't be eating. This thing is the reason my grandmother died with diabetes and lost her foot, yet I can't fight the craving. That's spiritual warfare. So everything that you're putting in your mouth, everything that you think about, that you meditate on, when you let those thoughts recycle themselves and you don't fight them, spiritual warfare. Even the very clothes on our backs, the fabric, the chemicals that they're using to make them, is to keep us at that lower dimensional frequency so that these energies who have been feeding off us from the beginning can continue to feed. But because we're awakening, the souls are awakening, right? We're coming out of the slumber. We're not the walking dead anymore. When you look at zombies, zombies eat whatever they can get their hands on. And we've been like that for many years. And now all of a sudden you're reading the ingredients. And you're grieved by the fact that a lot of foods that comforted you, you can no longer eat consciously because you know that it's not conducive for you. And that can be frustrating because a lot of the things that comforted us no longer serve us, and we're having to let those things go. But this is the Star Wars that has failed to Earth. We are the fallen stars. The fallen angels are fallen angles, different angles of consciousness within each of us. So we embody all of that. So instead of trying to find a philosophy or a spiritual belief system that it's like we're all looking for something, and we should be looking within. We should be asking ourselves, who am I? What can I do? What it's all about. It was all about service to self for so long, and now it's like, okay, I want to be able to be a blessing to somebody. Just little bitty small things. And as you go through these things, you will figure out who you are. And that's what it's all about. Some of us had to go through very traumatic events to get to this place. And so I want to say these are some ways I've been dealing with the anxiety and the worry and the depression. Yes, it does make us a target. I just happened to look up and see that. If you all had comments and I didn't see, I'm sorry. It's not intentional. But when I'm flowing, I try to stay in the flow. I just saw that. But we are targets. For a long time, we were not allowed to ask questions. The enslavement is on a cellular, molecular level, so much deeper than a prison or a belief system that enslaves us, or indoctrination into school, work, that keeps us busy. We're too busy to figure out who we are because we got to work to pay bills, right? It's a system, and the system is set up to keep us in the matrix, locked in, to be used. They feed off the energy. So what are you giving your energy to? When you feel the depression, that's the higher self letting you know that you need to go within. You need to ask yourself some questions. Sit with yourself. Sit in silence. Take a spiritual bath. Put some Epsom salt in the bath and just sit and just meditate and just imagine the light coming into your body and the water cleansing the negativity out of you. See, we're coming to a place as we're changing because we're becoming light bodies is what's happening. The Bible called it a glorified body that we shall receive during a quickening, but it's actually a light body. And as we're becoming light bodies, this is why we can't eat dense food anymore. Have you noticed? This Thanksgiving is going to be very different for a lot of us than it has been before. We're being weaned, just as a baby is weaned off milk to be able to digest the meat of life. And so with that great knowledge, with that wisdom, there is a great responsibility and accountability that comes with living in this time. So you're going to feel depression. You're going to have dark nights. It's actually a term for this in the occult, and it's called the dark night of the soul. And the dark night of the soul is something that you have to face. This is your shadow self. You have to face it and deal with it, accept it, and say, you know what, that's a part of me and it's ugly, I don't like it. And I'm going to intentionally and consciously try to change this. I'm not going to live these patterns. ego, I'm not going to feed you anymore. All these different, okay, lower dimensional entities, I'm not going to feed this anymore. You are actually, whether you know it or not, you're not even on the same planet you grew up on. That's how much and how fast we're quantum shifting in our consciousness. The world isn't the same as it was. Things don't look the same. Things don't feel the same. People call it the Mandela effect, and they're saying logos are changing. And if you look it up, we have things like rainbow tarantulas. We have rainbow alligators now. We have pink elephants and purple squirrels. And these are things, for some of us who like animals, we know that these things didn't exist before. People can say, well, maybe they were made in a laboratory and released. All of this is happening, but it's a very beautiful thing that's happening because it's changing because we're changing. We're made from the earth. That means every single thing that we do affects earth, and what happens to earth affects us, right? The answers are not outside of us. The answers are within us. Everything that we need is within us. Your soul is necessary in this time. And a lot of us feel like we should be doing something spectacular and something great. And it just seems like we're mediocre and we're just stuck having to go to work and go to school, and that's frustration. But just remember that it is a process. You're not going to get there overnight. You're not. But you have to practice, practice, practice. I can't say it enough. Practice seeing yourself. Figure out who you are. It's there and it's coming. We had no idea. I'm still figuring out who I am. Y'all, I'm a 70s baby. And, it's to the point where I don't even know what I enjoy to do anymore because for so long I lived and had my being and moved through Jesus Christ. And what was happening was Camson was dying. The soul of who I was calling for attention, but I felt because religion had taught me that was wrong, so I felt I must ignore myself, deny myself, torture myself, martyr myself, beat myself, slave myself. I must carry this cross. And now, all of a sudden, I'm feeling guilt because that doesn't resonate with me anymore. And I'm like, no, it's deeper than that. It's bigger than that. Hell is not just a place. Man, I've had hell manifest in my life. Heaven is not just a place. I've had heaven manifest in my life. So when the Bible says that ye are gods, it meant exactly what it said. And yes, there are a lot of things in there that don't make sense. There are a lot of things that seem to contradict each other. But that's because our consciousness just was not able to process the data. With the light codes we're getting right now, we can process the data. So I'm even going back to scriptures and finding new meaning, more metaphysical meaning, on a quantum cellular molecular level. And I'm not a rocket scientist, but I find myself using these terms because our language, our vocabulary is changing as we change. You don't want to wear what you used to wear. You got clothes in your closet you probably never wear again. I got wigs at the house I probably never wear again. It's just I'm changing so much, and sometimes I can feel like I'm not being authentic, or sometimes people are like, girl, I don't know who you are anymore. You're lost. And I'm like, no, I'm finding myself. I was lost, and I'm finding myself. And some people, and even yourself, may not be comfortable yet with what you're finding within yourself. So practice being comfortable, being authentic, whatever it may be. You could have a day where you've just been an asshole all day. Practice being able to look at yourself in the mirror and say, you know what, I've really been an asshole today. And then begin working out, how can I not do this tomorrow? And if there's anyone I hurt, I need to be sure to make it right. These seem like very small steps, but they're huge. They're not, nothing is small that a soul does. Nothing. So with this frequency war, with the music, the food, the water, the chemtrails, everything around us is at war. But what is the war about? Ourselves. soul, our purpose, the journey. And boy, have we taken the long, scenic route. It's taken generations. I will be the first generation in my family who's like, church doesn't resonate with me anymore. Something wrong. Pool pit. Why are they using those words? Pulled into a pit. Religion. Legion of demons. Something is wrong here. It's a church on every corner, but it's a homeless person on every corner too. But they have Cadillacs and Mercedes Benz and Jaguars and Porsches. Just all of a sudden, all of these questions, and you're kind of uncomfortable because when you start seeking, you find answers sometimes that you didn't want to find. And that's how it was when we began searching for answers. We shared a lot of that and did the studies with you all. That wasn't our intention. We were hoping to prove that what we had been practicing was right. But the soul and the higher self, source, the creator, it's like, no, I want to set you free. If you're ready, I want to set you free. Yes, Saint Germain. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so y'all just remember, this is a game. Life is a chessboard, and this is a laboratory, and a lot of genetic modification was done here, and we were put here on this earth as an experiment. I know that probably sounds crazy, but every single movie that comes out, that's pretty much what it's about. If you really pay attention to the movies, they're pretty much with the same plot in a different way. And so I just want to let you all know that you're going to experience worry, anxiety, frustration, anger, depression, and you're even going to, because I'm going to say this. This is what I thought to myself. The next time somebody tells me they like who I was, who I used to be years ago, better than who I am now, next time someone says that to me, I'm going to say to them, I'm finding my authentic self, and this gives me joy. And if you are indeed a spiritual person, as you are saying that you are, you will share that joy with me. You will be able to cheer me on, even if you don't agree or understand, because you're a spiritual person. That's making them accountable for the projection that they're putting on you. And they should be happy that you're finding yourself. And the truth of the matter is, so if I'm different from you, and if I'm different from what I'm used to be, that's a problem for you, but it's not a problem for me. And so we have to be willing to let those people believe as they believe, and it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We don't have to all be the same. We don't have to agree on every single thing. So this is the bottom line. The bottom line is freedom, love, compassion, right? Love is always the greatest frequency. 528 hertz is the greatest frequency. This is why music is in 440. The whole music industry has to do every album in 440 because they know the benefits of 432 hertz, right? It's down to a science. And the way that you break free of your patterns, your generational curses and cycles, and we're going to get deeper into that as we're coming, because I did mention heaven and hell being inside of you. That means that legions of demons and legions of what you would call angels are inside of you as well. We're going to get more into understanding that. But I want to leave this with you. The ultimate solution, love, compassion, do everything out of compassion. Even if you don't agree with everything we're going to be speaking about on the channel, constantly sending love and compassion is going to keep you growing, even if you grow in a different direction than what we're growing in. That's okay. And on this channel, we don't want to make people feel like they're not free to be, right, and exist as you are right now. We love you as you are right now. Everything that we're doing and journaling is not because we want views, money, or nothing like that. We just want to be able to use the energy of our soul and our purpose and our calling for you. With that being said, the answer to all of this is bliss. Find your bliss. What makes you happy? What just you feel this spark down inside of you, a warmth. Find that thing. Go on a search. Go on a scavenger hunt. If you lost it, find that thing. Find one thing. One thing. It's a very long journey. Yes, it is. But find your bliss. For me, bliss is coming before you and letting you know I feel you. You are in my heart. You are in my meditation. As I get answers, I'm hoping that I can share those with you. That gives me joy. And I haven't been doing videos because I've been wanting to make sure before I come before you that I'm coming before you all correct. I'm coming before you all and I'm able to leave you with something that's going to alter your day for the better. And that takes a lot of work. And so doing shadow work, the dark night of the soul work, that's a lot of work. And like he just said, it's a long journey. It is. So I'm not going to be on here a whole lot because I need to do the work. And I need to find my bliss. Once you find that bliss, it actually alters the whole endocrine, nervous system, cardiovascular system. Every part of your body is altered by bliss, which releases things, if we want to speak in the terms of anatomy, dopamines and serotonin and endorphins. But it's bliss. And bliss has the ability to activate things within you that have been lying dormant. And it's so beautiful that we were so wonderfully made this way. But we've been bound and we have not been liberated to search these things out, and now we can. And the beauty of the internet is we can interact with people we couldn't interact with before. We may be in different socioeconomic classes. We may be different races and from different parts of the country. It's so beautiful what's happening right now. It's not all bad. If there's a lot of good, there's a lot of beauty, there's a lot of energy of heaven being pulled to earth right now, and participate in that by working on yourself. Participate in that by saying, you know what, I am fearful of this one thing, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it because that fear doesn't belong to me. You know what, I'm worried about this one thing, but I'm going to do it anyway. I was so worried about not being able to afford a bigger house, right? I knew we needed one, but I was worried about it. I was like, you know what, forget it. We're going to get this house, and we got the house. Actually, we got approved, and our closing date was on my birthday, September the 24th, and I was just like, that's not a coincidence. There's no such thing as coincidence. So the manifestations mantras, the I am a miracle, to be a miracle, for those who need a miracle, all of those things are working for us. And you all will get to see the house soon. We'll show you all the house, too, so that you all get to see people like how I manifested $30,000 on YouTube, you know. And you don't really know if they really did it or not. So we're going to show you the house, and we were absolutely able to manifest this, and we're not going to give that credit away to anyone or anything else but ourselves, because we are doing the soul work, and we are finally brave enough to do the work, to create the life that we want. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. That's good. Yes, they are, Gregory. That's a very good point. Very good point. The transition is very exhausting, and it's normal. And I want to say this too. I'm glad you all mentioned that. When you get a chance, I have a relaxed playlist that has over 500 meditations. Just begin working through that, because one of the things that we found, bliss is the answer to depression. That's one thing. Love and compassion and finding your bliss. And the next thing would be the meditations, of course. But also something that we found to be very helpful is learning about the body and anatomy, learning about the soul, learning about what is a chakra, what is the energy center, why is it there, and what does it do. All of these things have been very helpful, because the more you understand your body, just like your computer system, the more you learn your computer, the more you can access things that your computer can do you didn't know it could do before, right? And so with all that being said, we're going to have more angelic and spirit experiences. We're going to have more experiences with spirit guides. And so we're just, this is a beautiful time to be in. And so just bathe yourself in that and release the guilt and the shame. The Ho'oponopono meditation is in there. It's going to help you forgive yourself, not just yourself right now, but yourself from other lives. And yes, our souls are immortal, which means that we exist. Energy never ceased to exist. And so it may be unbelievable, but your soul was here before you incarnated in this body this time. And sometimes maybe you died as a child in a very traumatic way before your soul came back to finish whatever the mission was. And maybe you never forgave yourself because as that child, your mom said, don't go in the street, and you did, and you got hit. Like, I know I'm still learning to accept these truths, but they are truths. I have found these to be truths, and if they don't resonate with as a truth for you, that's okay. But these are things that I'm learning, and for people who are ready to accept these truths, I have to give these things to them. Um, but what will make it easier is learning about the anatomy, learning about these things. Another thing that we have found to help us a lot is to be willing to say, you know what, everything that's in my life, I'm accountable. I'm accountable for that. I may not know how I created this situation, and it's undesirable, but I'm accountable. Once you say that, now the higher self can work with you. Now the higher self is like, okay, we're seeing ourselves because we got to come out of the blindness. We have to come out of the blindness, and so don't feel alone. Don't feel alone. You're not alone. And the only people who aren't experiencing these things are people who are not trying to transform themselves. And those people sometimes seem very happy, but they're in a state of ignorance is bliss for some people. And the kind of bliss we're talking about is not in ignorance. And so we have to have compassion for those people. But know that the more you work on yourself, the more you're going to have emotions that you don't want to feel. And I also want you all to know not only to forgive yourself, but understand that there are entities, energies around us all the time. And so when your vibration is low, they're able to speak thoughts to you that aren't your thoughts. They're able to make you feel things, that you don't want to feel. And just be knowledgeable of that, where you can say, you know what, that's not even me. What was that? Why would I say that about myself? You know what? I don't receive that. I do not consent to that thought because that was not of me. And you just have to just shut down the voices that are not beneficial for you, and the things that you know are harmful for you. And yeah, I think that's it. Yes, it is. Atlantean mystic, living for others is so spectacular. It is. Yes, it is. And be unattached to the outcome. You may try something that may fail. You may try to do something of service to someone else and it may not go the way you planned it. You may do a meditation you can't visualize. You just set yourself free. Don't hold on to those emotions. Just be willing to let them pass through you. Just let it pass through you. It's okay. You're processing. You're probably the first one in your family to even be watching something like this. It's like somebody in your family or a spouse or someone walking in the room and like, what? She's talking about what? And that's okay. This is your journey. This is your journey. And you need to be you. I need to be me. And as spiritual beings, we should support each other in whatever that is. And if the outcome, right? If the outcome is good, that's great. But if the outcome is not what you wanted it to be, just one step at a time, you'll finally get there. You will finally get to a place where you're creating the things in your life that you actually want to be in your life. We're doing it. We're doing it, and we're getting assistance. We're not alone. So again, the angels are helping us. The sun is helping us. The planetary alignment is helping us. Being in the age of Aquarius is helping us. People growing their own food is helping the earth, and now the earth is able to give to us. Every soul, it's amazing how in the world we always have a perfect balance of what we need. I would never want to be a firefighter, but we need firefighters, right? And we have them. Like, who watches over that? Who's like, okay, we don't have enough firefighters. We got to get some more of those. And then a little boy is born, a little girl, and like, I want to be a firefighter. That's not a coincidence. And so there is harmony, and the harmony can definitely be attained. Keep reaching forward. Don't ever stop. Don't ever stop. Because by you continuing on your journey, you are being the light of the world. Just just being steadfast, and I'm just not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to let these lower dimensional entities cause me to miss out on something beautiful. I'm not going to give up. That's awesome. I feel that. I love y'all so much. I can say that and really mean that. I love you all so much. That, yeah, that's beautiful. I hope y'all love me when we start talking about soul contract revocations. That was a little out there, and we've been doing those recently. So I hope you all continue to have these very positive vibrations and this beautiful resonance on this channel. It's just so special. I could care less how many subscribers I have and how many people watch the videos. I know that those of us here, we know why we're here, and something beautiful is happening, and it resonates with each of us. And we're able to, from this point forward, we will go out into the world tomorrow. And tomorrow you will have a story that will make you smile when you lay your head down. I can guarantee that, absolutely. If I am really operating in the love that I'm saying I am, you all will begin to see things that will prove that. Absolutely, 100%. I believe that. I know that to be true. The age of Pisces was about believing. The age of Aquarius about knowing. I know. So continue to do your journey. Seek the truth. Know who you are. Begin knowing who you are not. And just love yourself exactly where you are, because we love you exactly where you are. We're not going to force you to change. Yes, the octopus does feed. Yeah, these are real energies, y'all. They real, very real. Oh, yeah, yeah. I knew I needed to do this, so I went and dropped the kids off. I picked the kids up. I was like, okay, I gotta go. Ernest, he's still at work, and I was like, I gotta go and do this video. I just have to. So I'm glad that it's touching you all, Flex Washington. I'm so glad it touched you. Share this with anybody else you think it's going to touch. I'm telling y'all, 2019 is going to be amazing. The more I accept who I am, the more my soul can do the work that's needed for you all to do the work you're doing. And I am totally in love with myself and who I'm becoming. Yes, yes, yes. A lot of house cleaning. 2019 is going to be a whole lot of purging. Whole lot of purging. But a whole lot of harvesting from 2018, things we were trying to do. 2019, we're going to actually do things we've been trying to do. You can write that down. That's going to happen. Temple cleansing, that's right, Derek. I love y'all so much. The sun is almost down. Just learn to be in the moment. Find bliss in your moment. Find joy in your suffering in that moment. Figure out what it is it's trying to teach you. Suffering is a teacher, but it's not something that you have to carry with you all the time, okay? All right. Peace, y'all. Peace, 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 peace.